two people take ashwagandha. One feels calm and sleeps better, the other feels nothing. So who is lying? Probably neither. The real difference hides in the bottle. Studies use specific extracts measured with analytes, but many products do not match that. Today, I will show you how stress silently controls your body and why your supplement might be useless. You think you're fine, but stress is quietly wrecking your body daily. Your shoulders feel normal. Your heart rate says otherwise. This video is about how stress quietly messes with your body and why people reach for ashwagandha to get control back. That busy life can be chronic stress wearing a mask, and it pushes you into a mode where you stop living and start surviving. Ever notice how sleep breaks first, then cravings show up, then even small problems hit harder than they should? That chain is not random. Stress keeps a scoreboard, and one of the biggest scorekeepers is cortisol levels. And when cortisol stays high, your body runs like an alarm that never stops. People take ashwagandha because they want the alarm to be lower, not because they want a cute wellness trend. In a 60-day randomized trial in adults with chronic stress, researchers used 300 milligrams twice daily of a high-concentration root extract, and they tracked stress scores and cortisol. The ashwagandha group dropped more than placebo on stress scales, and the famous number from that study is a 27.9% drop in serum cortisol. Then, another randomized trial used 240 milligrams daily of a standardized extract for 60 days in stressed but otherwise healthy adults, and it also improved stress measures versus placebo. So yes, it can help, but the scary part is simple. The outcome depends on what is actually inside your capsule, and that is where things get messy, because the bottle can change everything. Most ashwagandha bottles sold online barely contain the real root. You buy one bottle, nothing changes. You buy another, you finally sleep better, and you start wondering what is going on. That is not you being immune. That is the supplement market being chaotic, and it is a quiet trap. Two ashwagandha bottles can act like different drugs because the inside can be totally different. Ashwagandha Withania somnifera has compounds called withanolides inside, and that is the chemistry most studies lean on. Supplements can vary hard, root versus leaf, extracts versus raw powder, and totally different standardization, and that variation can change what your body even gets to use. The NIH Office of Dietary Supplements points out that trials use different forms and doses, which makes comparing results hard because ashwagandha is not one single thing in real life. Researchers also publish methods to detect wrong labeling and inconsistent with analyte profiles in products sold as ashwagandha extracts. And that should make you pause, because it hints that some products do not match the identity or potency you think you bought. So when someone says, ashwagandha did nothing for me, the real question is basic. Did you take a standardized root extract or a random powder with mystery potency? If a label never mentions withanolide content, you are gambling. And even if it does, you still need to know the exact type used in human trials, because the way it works depends on the stress system, and that system has its own rules. How this simple root cools stress when life feels totally out of control. Your brain keeps yelling, push through, but your body keeps yelling danger, and that fight inside you can drain your day fast. You can still function, sure, but functioning is not the same as feeling okay, and that gap is where stress support matters. Most people think stress relief means you feel calm, but the trials measure more than a mood. They track perceived stress scores, anxiety scales, and sometimes serum cortisol, which is why the results are not just vibes. In the Chandrasekhar trial, 60 days with stressed adults, people taking the extract improved more than placebo on questionnaires like PSS, and they also got that headline cortisol drop. The NIH-ODS fact sheet sums up the bigger picture. Several studies suggest extracts may help reduce stress and anxiety, but studies are generally small and short-term. That matters because small and short does not mean fake. It means you should treat it like a tool you test with care, not a personality you build your life around. Now, a weird truth, cortisol can go down and you still feel flat if sleep stays broken. And that is why many people notice changes at night first. The effect also seems strongest when baseline stress is high, so if life is stable and you take it like a biohack, the shift can be subtle, and that can confuse people. So when it works, it can help you respond like a human again, and the first thing you might notice is sleep. And that is where the story gets interesting. People use it for sleep and suddenly mornings feel human again. You fall asleep, then you wake up still tired, and you start thinking your body forgot how to recover. That wired at night problem is not a character flaw, it is your stress system refusing to power down, and that is why people chase better sleep first. Sleep studies matter because the results stack across multiple small trials, instead of relying on one loud claim. A 2021 systematic review and meta-analysis, summarized by the NIHODS, looked at studies where adults, healthy or with insomnia, took ashwagandha for 6 to 12 weeks, often in the 250 to 600 milligrams per day range as a root extract. Across those included trials, sleep outcomes improved compared with placebo. People assume sleep help means getting knocked out, but ashwagandha is usually framed as stress support, so the sleep benefit can be indirect. Less stress arousal can mean fewer 2 a.m. wake-ups, an easier wind-down, and a brain that stops replaying your day like a broken clip. And yes, that can change mornings. Fast. NCCIH flags that short-term use up to 3 months appears generally safe for many people, but long-term safety remains unclear, and you should treat that seriously. If sleep improves, do not use that as permission to run it forever on autopilot, because once you start sleeping better, you get tempted to use it for gym gains too, and the strength claims have one number that makes people talk loud. Gym bros hype it up, but what does ashwagandha really do for strength? You hear natural testosterone, and everyone starts acting like a capsule will replace hard training. That is the hype version, but the real question is what the research actually showed, and one study has a real strength jump that gets repeated everywhere. In a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial during resistance training, the ashwagandha group gained more strength than placebo. The published numbers are sharp. Bench press strength increased about 46.0 kilograms in the ashwagandha group versus 26.4 kilograms in placebo over the study period. And leg extension strength increased more too. Those numbers sound wild, so do not treat them like magic dust. Treat them like a sign that under certain conditions, standardized extract plus training can move the needle. One study does not crown a king, and that matters because the overall evidence base has mixed designs and different products. Some research and reviews suggest ashwagandha might help strengthen power variables, but the mix of products and setups makes the story less clean than gym talk makes it sound. A more grounded way to see it, if you train hard, recover badly, and you stay stressed all day, a stress support supplement might help performance by helping sleep, recovery quality, and training consistency. Then comes the part most gym talk skips. If a herb can shift performance and stress biology, it can also nudge hormones, and that can hit the wrong person hard. The hormone side nobody warns you about before you start taking it. You take it for calm, then your body starts acting differently, and you start asking, is this even connected? That question matters because your endocrine system is not a joke, and the thyroid piece is a real warning. Major health references warn that ashwagandha may interact with thyroid hormone medications, and it is not recommended for people with thyroid disorders. NCCIH calls this out directly, and it is not just theory. There are published case reports linking ashwagandha use with thyrotoxicosis, which is too much thyroid hormone effect. One reported case described a 73-year-old woman who developed hyperthyroid symptoms and very low TSH after long-term use of ashwagandha root extract, and symptoms improved after stopping it. Another rare report discusses thyrotoxicosis presenting as painless thyroiditis after ashwagandha, and even reading that should make you slow down and think. Case reports do not mean this happens to everyone, but they do mean it can happen, especially with long use, higher doses, self-treating thyroid problems, or mixing it with thyroid meds. So the safe herb story has a hidden variable, your hormones, and if you have thyroid issues, you need to treat ashwagandha like a serious compound. Now the next part gets heavier because it is not just hormones, it involves organ injury, and the liver stories are documented. Rare cases show this supplement can suddenly hit your liver hard. Most people feel fine until something scary shows up and it does not give you a polite warning. If your eyes turn yellow, that is when jaundice risk becomes real, and nobody wants to learn that lesson the hard way. NCCIH explicitly notes that while rare, there have been a number of cases linking ashwagandha supplements to liver injury. A major case series from India looked at herb-induced liver injury connected to ashwagandha from January 2019 to December 2022, and the details are not light reading. Out of 23 patients, the paper describes 8 tied to single-ingredient ashwagandha products, with cholestatic hepatitis as a common pattern, and 3 people with underlying chronic liver disease developed acute on chronic liver failure and died. There are also individual case reports where symptoms appeared within weeks of starting, then improved after stopping, which is a reminder that the timing can be fast. Rare does not mean harmless. Rare means you might not get a warning shot. And if you already have liver disease, or you stack multiple supplements, or you use questionable products, your risk math changes. So benefits talk has to include who should avoid it, because ignoring that is wellness roulette. That leads to the blunt question, who should skip this before problems even start? No debate, no ego, just facts. Who should actually avoid ashwagandha before problems even start? Some bodies handle it fine, other bodies reject it hard, and that difference is not about willpower. It is about your context, your meds, and your health history. And this is the section where people need to stop guessing and start acting smart first. Starting with the clearest point, NCCIH says ashwagandha should be avoided during pregnancy and should not be used while breastfeeding. They also caution against use for people with autoimmune disorders, thyroid disorders, and people about to have surgery, and those warnings are not there for decoration. Now the medication pileup matters because NCCIH lists potential interactions with medicines for diabetes and blood pressure, immunosuppressants, sedatives, anticonvulsants, and thyroid hormone meds. If you are thinking, that sounds like a lot, you are right, and it is why mixing supplements like candy can backfire. Germany's Federal Institute for Risk Assessment, BFR, published a risk assessment warning about potential health risks of ashwagandha supplements, and they highlight lack of safety data for pregnancy, breastfeeding, and children, along with medication interaction concerns. So if you are on multiple meds, have thyroid issues, autoimmune conditions, liver disease, or you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you are in the clinician first zone. Full stop. Now assume you are a good candidate. How do you take it without turning it into a dumb experiment? Because dose and timing decide whether it helps or backfires. Best simple way to take it and not mess up your body or results. People copy TikTok doses like candy, then they act shocked when they feel off. The smart move is boring. Match what studies actually used and stop treating your body like a test lab, because dose choice changes outcomes. Most human studies cluster around a simple range, and the NIHODS fact sheet summarizes sleep trials using ashwagandha for 6 to 12 weeks, often 250 to 600 milligrams per day as a root extract, and one trial used 120 milligrams per day of a root plus leaf extract. NCCIH adds a safety boundary that matters. Short-term use up to 3 months appears possibly safe for many adults, while long-term safety remains unknown. A practical approach stays close to the research without getting fancy. Pick a standardized product that lists with analyzed content, because guessing potency is a bad plan. Stay inside the 250 to 600 milligrams per day zone unless a clinician guides otherwise, and give it time, because many trials run 6 to 8 weeks, not 3 days. Timing is simple. Many people take it in the evening because drowsiness is possible. Others split dosing, and the goal is consistency that matches study patterns. The best protocol still fails if product quality is trash or you ignore your risk factors, and that sets up the real payoff, using it like a lever during a stress season, not as a lifestyle identity. Use it smart and unlock calm focus instead of chasing fake fixes. You want calm, you also want focus, and you want both without turning into a supplement zombie. That combo is possible, but the trick is not stacking pills. The trick is stacking one supplement with one boring habit and letting calm focus build. Ashwagandha tends to help most in the situation people hate admitting out loud: constant stress, sleep quality dropping, and a body that runs hot all day. The data supports benefits for stress and sleep in multiple small trials and reviews, but it also throws warnings: studies are short, products vary, and safety has boundaries, so you need a plan, not a vibe. A smarter way to use it stays clean and defined. Use it during a stress season like a work crunch, exams, or a training block, and do not treat it like a forever thing. Pair it with one habit that multiplies it: consistent sleep time or less late caffeine, and yes, that boring habit will carry more weight than any capsule. Track one marker that is real: sleep latency, night wake-ups, resting heart rate, or a stress score, because if you do not track anything, you will fool yourself. The catch is sneaky: when you feel better, you will try to do more, sleep less, and burn the benefit, so keep the goal simple. Rebuild your baseline. The sharp end is this: the plant can help, but the real upgrade is knowing whether your body is a yes answer, a maybe, or a hard no. And before you buy it, you need one decision rule that makes that clear. If this made you rethink your stress and supplements, drop your experience below, because it helps others. Tap the next video on your screen now. The surprises keep coming tonight.